How many times are we going to use snakes to try to kill non-stop? Anyone? Anyone? I have to say, in my professional opinion, money-wise, bang for the buck-wise, snakes have to absolutely be the worst way to kill people.
Great.
What's more is that him, his lair, and all his goons are dressed in purple and red. Coincidence, I'm sure. And to give you a little peek into this guy's personality, this episode says it all. In this episode, the White Shadow successfully dispatched the Minority and had the heroes captive on a far-off planet. But in their absence, the White Shadow becomes bored. So he uses his own spaceship to rescue his enemies, just so he'll have someone to fight.
Get in.
I'm a Chinese. You're not liking me, remember?
Minority team, get in the freaking ship now.
Another reoccurring character is the Lady in Red. The Lady in Red has always represented an infinitely alluring seductress. Her name is Venus. Her general characteristics are as follows. May show an act of loyalty to the main character and may have been placed in his way just to seduce and manipulate him. Typically depicted as a criminal, extremely vain, a girl that likes money, had multiple marriages, at some point may go bad, and finally, either working for a villain or dating one. Even though it has no value regarding Illuminati symbolism, the movie The Woman in Red is still worth mentioning. The Woman in Red is about a loser, played by Gene Wilder, who becomes infatuated with a woman in red. And you know he's a loser because his 40-year-old friends act like 17-year-olds, and his wife is cheating on him with this guy. In the movie, the Woman in Red has no agenda to seduce Gene Wilder, but since these two sleep together by the end, the logical mind is forced to conclude that the movie excluded that part, and that there was indeed some horrible scheme to seduce Mr. Wilder. Because, I mean, come on. This cartoonishly lopsided Lady in Red matchup is reminiscent of other cartoonishly lopsided Lady in Red matchups like Roger Rabbit and Jessica Rabbit, or how about Arthur Miller and Marilyn Monroe? And, as it turns out, the Woman in Red is dating a pretty scary guy. I only bring up the movie to point out the Lady in Red character and her typical role as the ultimate seductress. A more relevant example of the typical Lady in Red character can be found in the new Sherlock Holmes movie. In the movie, a character named Irene Adler, first seen in a red dress, has been charged with the task of seducing Sherlock Holmes. This job was bestowed upon her by the ultimate villain in what is most likely the next Sherlock Holmes movie. She is almost a prototypical Lady in Red. She shows an act of loyalty to the main character, was sent to seduce him, described as a criminal with multiple marriages, and was working for a villainous figure. At the beginning of Sherlock Holmes, Detective Holmes is arriving to a prison where a prisoner, Lord Blackwood, the movie's antagonist, is about to be executed. Upon arriving to Lord Blackwood's cell, he finds Blackwood reading a passage from the Bible.
Blasphemy. They worship the dragon which gave power unto the beast, and they worship the beast, saying, Who is like unto the beast? The beast which I saw was like unto a leopard.
The passage Lord Blackwood is reading from is from the Book of Revelation, and gives us our first clue as to the identity of the two characters currently on screen. This part of the Bible describes two beasts that will arrive at the end times. The first is a beast which will rise out of the sea. Afterwards, a second beast rises out of the earth. Because both beasts will be worshipped, what is essentially being described here are two antichrists. The second beast, the beast of the earth, uses a series of false miracles to make the entire world worship both beasts. The first beast, Sherlock Holmes, would end up being a hero for neutralizing Blackwood twice, and the second beast, Lord Blackwood, along with what is obviously the Freemasons, would attempt to use a series of false miracles to convince others that he had divine power. As the movie comes to a close, it becomes clear that Blackwood actually wanted an alliance with Sherlock Holmes. After his resurrection, Blackwood perpetrates a series of murders that leaves Sherlock Holmes baffled, so the detective turns to more unorthodox means to solve the case. He goes about doing a ritual that will give him insights that will help him solve the case, and by the next morning, he finds himself illuminated to not only the nature of the case, but things involving ancient history as well. There are in fact spells and rituals that can give one insights to mysteries or dilemmas that they face. The practitioner will find themselves flooded with images and concepts related to the question they've asked. Although their predictions aren't perfect, some demons can calculate the odds of a certain event occurring.
The fraternity, who silently control the empire, share the belief with the kings, pharaohs, and emperors of old that the Sphinx was a door to another dimension, a gateway to immeasurable power. It's made up of 4 parts: the foot of a lion, the tail of an ox, the wings of an eagle, and the head of a man.
The 4 animals spoke of in the previous scene, the lion, the ox, the man, and the eagle, is once again from the Bible. Ezekiel chapter 1, verse 10 describes 4 living beings, each looking like one of the aforementioned animals. And in Revelation chapter 4, verse 7, nearly the exact animals are mentioned again. Sherlock Holmes is clearly a loaded retelling. Well friends, I hope you found this video eye-opening. I hope you have a better understanding of how the Illuminati retell their traditions in movies and the symbolism used to convey these retellings. I urge you to watch some of the movies I've reviewed here with a bit more open eyes. I also urge you to watch this documentary's predecessor, Hollywood Insider's Full Disclosure, for the details I've skipped in this video. I went through great pains to bring you this documentary series and teach you what I know about the Illuminati, and all I ask in return is that you inform others what you know. If not this sector of truth, symbolism in movies, then some other sector of truth. Everything that ever was started in the mind of one person, and sometimes that one person is you. So, keep learning, but more importantly, keep teaching. That's it from me. Take care, friends, and good luck.